Today is October the 6th, 2020, and it's a Tuesday. Oh, it's about 4:50 p.m. Beautiful autumn day, and I'm just heading out here. Going to test out my new GoPro action camera that I got yesterday. There's 103 Lincoln Drive. Good shot of it. This is mounted on my bike helmet, and this is the first time out with it. And I'm just using the default settings. There are a ton of settings in this thing. So I'm not going to monkey with them for the time being. I'm just going to use the default setting. I think it's, oh gosh, I'm not sure what the frame rate is. I think the frame rate might be, I don't know. It's just the default setting. So we'll see how that goes. It kind of looks like I've got the camera mounted down a little bit too much, pointed down. I'm getting a lot of road and not a lot of scenery, so it could be repositioned. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. I just want to get one video under my belt here with it, and see how it goes. So today I'm just going to be taking my regular bike ride route that I do when the weather's nice. I try to get one of these rides in each day. It's not very long, but it does give me a little bit of exercise. But anyway, and I'll show you take a few shots here of some familiar spots. I hope to share this with some of my old classmates who have long ago moved away. There's my grandparents' place, Edgar and Bessie Traeger. Built that in, I think, 49. And I grew up in that house first few years and actually spent a lot of time there throughout my entire early years. It's kind of where I would go after school. And here we're going down Cook Street. And this is the street I actually kind of grew up on. Made some friends here that I'm still in touch with. Here off to the right is where Johnny Dessel grew up. The Dessels lived there. We had many a bike race down Cook Street, and many wiped out many times. There's where I took my piano lessons there, Barbara Temple's place. Down here a little ways will be where Barry and Dave Comm grew up. That would be Junior and Shirley Comm. All of them are gone now except David is still. There's where the Comms lived. And then down here, a couple houses down on the right is where Ricky Carbon grew up. Ricky and Patsy and his parents, their parents, right there. That White House, which used to be kind of bluish, I believe. Or no, it was kind of a maroon. Yeah, I think kind of reddish or maroon. And here's where I grew up, Robin and I, from about 1954 to 55 or 53 to 54. And so we're getting down to the end of Cook Street here. And I'll now turn to the north and head out to the park. And they call this, this park out here is, I think, the West Union Recreational Park or something like that. It was kind of the brainchild of Bruce Crandall, who'd be Larry Crandall's brother. Bruce was in the bank in West Union, and he was responsible for getting this park going. And I think some of the property, or maybe all the property, was Teresa Hines' parents' property. H.L. Hine and drawing a blank here. But here's up here to the right is where the old swimming pool used to be. Now it's I believe it's a daycare center. And then to the far right is the high school. And Joe Hine. I should know that. H.L. and Joe Hine would be Teresa's parents. And I believe a lot of that property was theirs, or maybe all of it. And but I'm sure Teresa will, if she sees this video, will correct me. And heading up here to the right, you'll see the new swimming pool, which I think now they don't even call it a swimming pool. They call it a water recreation park. So it wasn't quite as busy this summer due to all this COVID-19 stuff. But I saw a few kids there when I'd ride by. But it's up here a little ways to the right. I think my bike needs a good going over. It's been a couple of years since I've had it had a tune-up. There's to the right is the swimming pool, or the water recreation park. And then up here we're getting close to the what do they call it? The West Union Recreational Park. I think it should be called the Bruce Crandall Memorial Park. But I suppose there would be people offended. But I think Bruce did 90% of the work in planning to get that to come to fruition there. And up here I'll turn to the left, and that leads down into the park. And they have a lake, and then some new homes, big beautiful homes built around the lake. There's a little shelter where people have picnics and stuff. And like I said, it is a very nice fall day. There's a little flower bed down here. And I would see, occasionally I'd see some little memorials here and there in the park. That gave me the idea to do a project a couple of years ago, fundraiser to put in a memorial for Tom Stahr, my old bandmate in the rubber band. And so we held a couple concerts and fundraisers, and I think I did a GoFundMe deal, and we raised money for this. That's Tommy's memorial. And then Tammy and I came over and did the landscaping here. Looking pretty dreary right now, but in the spring and early summer, you know, those flowers are pretty eye-catching there. So, and there's a guitar on the front of it, and then on the back there's that eagle, and Tommy was a real big fan of eagles. So if you want to know more about that project, just go underneath here and click on YouTube, on this YouTube video, there'll be a link underneath here that will go to tell the details, a lot of details about that project. Anyway, here to the left is that lake, and you're seeing some of the homes off there to the far left. And a lot of times you see people out here fishing in the lake. I don't know what they catch, but they must catch something. This is kind of a challenging part of the ride right here. It's for a person who's out of shape. It's kind of challenging. But I notice as the season goes on, it gets a little easier to go up here. But in the early part of the season, I start counting my pedals. It usually takes about 40 pedals for me to get from that bridge up to the top here. So and up here, yeah, occasionally run into people walking.
Hello.
Hey. Getting their exercise. I come up behind them sometimes and ring the bell, and sometimes it scares them, and I don't know how else to do it to alert them that somebody's behind them. But anyway, up here to the right over there is the couple that used to have the White House in St. Lucas. They're retired, moved there. And this next one is Deb and Alan Chensvold. Alan was a classmate of mine. And then this big house here, that's where Bruce and Marge Crandall built. Of course, Bruce has been gone now a couple years, so Marge is there by herself. And then I don't know who else lives along here, but there are a lot of big old houses. Yeah, I guess I don't know any of the other people here. There is a gal down here that I'm trying to think of her name. They used to come see us at the dances. Oh, I can't think of their names, but he's Bob, and almost had it, but they live here, or she lives there. So let's see if I can scare these people here.
Hi.
Oops, sorry, we're going slow.
Oh, beautiful day.
It is beautiful.
Garvin, Bob, and Wilbur, great, Gail. Bob and Gail, I'll get it eventually. Bob and Gail Wilbur, and Gail was a Garvin. Here's that flower bed again. We made a big circle. And I'll take a little different route. Usually I just go up to the right here, but I'll turn left. And they've got another little pond up here. You'll see. And then across the road here, I think to the left down there are a bunch of softball fields and baseball fields and soccer fields. And you can see some kids off to the right here playing some soccer. I don't think we had that back when we were in high school. I don't recall anyone ever talking about soccer. And then here's the water recreation park, also known as the swimming pool. And we'll kind of retrace our steps. In post-editing, I might speed up some of this on the way back, since you've already seen. There's a pool off to the left. That's one way to speed things up. You saw all that footage, so I kind of fast forwarded through it. Here's the bottom of Cook Street, and we're gonna just head up here and take a look at the old elementary school, just for some of you classmates that have been away from West Union for a while. There's the old alley, goes up behind Cook Street. We'll go back down and go back up that alley so you can see the back of some of those houses. And so here to the left is the old elementary school where we attended from, what was it, 5th and 6th grade, I guess. And E.L. Andrew was the principal here. His son Dennis was a good friend of mine. And but that didn't give me a free pass, because I spent a lot of time in E.L. Andrews' office. And when I look at this little walk here, I think of the time Brian Foote and I got in a fight, and we had to, what did we have to do? I think we had to shovel snow out here for an hour after school. And then we were supposed to shake hands. So anyway, here's the old elementary school. And I know my friend Charlene Capel Boyle taught there, and I don't know if Linda Plagencool Fritz, another classmate, if she taught there. I think she was in Hawkeye. I don't know if she taught in West Union. But anyway, here we're going to go up, make a left and go up the alley behind Cook Street. And this first house here to your right, once we get on here, is where I first saw color TV. That little house, I think it was the Amdals lived there, and they had one of the first color TVs. And it was just a splotch of red and yellow and green. That house to the right there is where I grew up, on Cook Street. And then just a couple houses up here is where one of my best friends, Ricky Carbon, right here where he grew up. Remember the time he was up on the top of that garage? He jumped down. I couldn't believe he jumped all the way off the roof. I think he hurt his ankle a little bit, but nothing serious, I don't think. And we'll be getting up here pretty soon to the brick house where Johnny Dessel grew up. Getting closer. A lot of the folks that lived in these houses I don't remember anymore. who lived there. Now, yeah, the brick house back through there, that's where Johnny grew up. Dessels lived there. And I think the house on the end here is where Myrtle and Butch Elsheimer lived. Now, I'll turn up to the north, and I'll make a left up here on yeah, that's where Bobby Johnson lived, Bobby and Diane Johnson. I think they're both gone. And on the corner, I'm not sure who. I know Butch and Kathy Pratt lived there for a while, but way back in the 50s, I don't remember who. Across there is where Grant Lauer used to live. Grant and Lizzie Lauer. And on this street, the Biermans lived in this first house on the left. It's kind of hard to frame things with this wide angle lens. You see a little bit of that where the Biermans live. And now Betty Stylagi lives there, my mother's secretary for 47 years. And there's where Dean grew up, Dean Witcher. The Witchers lived there. And there's Lions Park. A lot of Witcher boys running around in that park. And down here, who all lived down here? I don't remember. There's a big empty lot here where Dean lived in later years. And then Donnie Traeger lived in that. That's gone now. They tore down the house. And then up here at the end of this street, on the left is where Doc Wolf lived. We spent many early morning hours having piano and organ duets there, much to Lynn's chagrin. While everyone was trying to sleep there, we were playing till all hours of the morning. Here off to the right is where the Westerfields lived, Monty and his parents, Westerfield, Dick and Jan Westerfield. They had the newspaper. And here, this big place here is where Hines lived. H.L. and Senator H.L. and Joe Hine, and of course little Teresa Hines Slack grew up there. One of my good buddies now. She's an attorney, but she got her law degree, but just opted to run in the family business. And anyway, then straight ahead is where Kevin Connor and the Connor, Kevin and Kirk and Judson and Kristen and Harold and Beulah lived. Now heading back down North Vine Street, heading to the north. There's John Fobb's place to the right. And on Lincoln Drive here, all these people, there have been at least 2 generations of people since we moved here. I think we were the first house here. But anyway, here we are back at 103 Lincoln Drive. And the next time I'll have the camera pointed up a little higher. We'll go in here and you can meet my 94, soon to be 95-year-old mother. And she has a caregiver there with her that, since my mother's had some health issues this past year, plus surgery, she's been slowly inching back to baseline with her health, and she seems to be doing pretty well. Give you a quick view out the back here. There's a big tree there to the straight ahead that is bare now. Used to have a big tree house in. I built it in, I think, 93 or 94.
Hospitals, thousands of jobs. Plus, Recreational wants to raise payroll taxes 20%, which can
Yes.
cost the average worker 12
Eddie Van Halen,
higher taxes.
65 years old.
Hospital closures in a pandemic. We can't afford
This is my mother and her sidekick, the warden, also known as Sheila. And this was my first video with the GoPro. So I'm going to take this off and look and probably see that the camera wasn't even turned on.
It's on. There's a red light.
Okay. Okay, over and out then. We're going to do a little editing here.